Whenever our teachers give an assignment, say 7 days deadline, we say, 7 days, how can I do this assignment in 7 days? But in corporate, we get 1 hour deadline for most of the assignment. Once upon a time, he said, the CGPA that I am giving to you is a liability for me. So he says, if I give you 3, for example, if you are not up to a 3 standard, someone from corporate will say, who has given this CGPA to this student? So the CGPA that I am giving to you is a liability for me. When I was a student, we used to have a common question. Every time we used to say, like, we are kind of bookish. Like, we don't have much connection with the corporate industries. We don't see much of the leaders from the corporates or CEOs. So this was one of the common grievance of all of us, including my friends and me, especially who amongst us are interested to build career in corporate sector. So obviously this is an important factor because if we can connect our theoretical knowledge that we learn from our classroom versus the practical thing that is happening in the corporate world, so that gap was there. But I would like to thank ICE Center. They have come up with this idea that how they can connect students with the corporates, especially with the CEOs, corporate leaders, alumni. So I think ICE is playing that role very perfectly, and going forward they'll be accelerating this program for all of us. Why it is required to connect corporate world? So because we have already passed around 10 years of corporate career, so theoretical knowledge is obviously important. Whatever we learn from sometimes we ask ourselves, what is the use of this maths, logarithm, or calculus? What is the use of this? Actually, whatever we learn from our books are essential to lead the corporate world. So that's important. We always ask, but until we go to a corporate sector, we don't understand these are essential. Like, who all of you are from finance? Is there anyone from finance? Okay. So we have a common complaint against some of the teachers, like seniors, especially like Masu sir, then Mui sir, then another one is Mui sir. Mook and Mui, you would understand, those who are from finance. But once we started working in corporate sector, we actually understood that we learn from those teachers only. They are tough. So I always tell one thing. Mahmud Osman Imam sir told once upon a time, he said, the CGPA that I am giving to you is a liability for me. So he says, if I give you 3, for example, if you are not up to a 3 standard, someone from corporate will say, who has given this CGPA to this student? So the CGPA that I am giving to you is a liability for me. So I always remember this thing, and I always recognize those senior teachers who we used to dislike during the student life. We are actually liking them now. Because the corporate world, see, whenever our teachers give an assignment, say 7 days deadline, we say, 7 days, how can I do this assignment in 7 days? But in corporate, we get 1 hour deadline for most of the assignment. So that's the difference. That's the practical difference. And that we learn from those teachers who has actually pressurized us to take these pressures. I will share another experience. When we got admitted into Dhaka University back in 2019, in very first semester, so Pallavi madam assigned us an assignment that you will have to go to 4 big corporates and collect information of their recruitment process. But you'll have to meet the head of HR. So I was from Chittagong, and this was my first time in Dhaka. Basically, I came in Dhaka when I got admitted into Dhaka University. So completely new city, new world. But madam also said, I will not help anyone to connect. It's your responsibility to identify which HR head you will meet. So for a student who is just 1 or 2 months old in Dhaka University, it was very difficult to identify 4 HR heads from big corporates and understand their recruitment process. So at that point of time, we thought, how is this possible? You are not helping us to connect with the HR heads, but you're saying you'll have to collect information. And in the report also, you need to staple your that HR head's card. So it was really a tough assignment for us. But now I understand the challenge that we face in corporate world is much, much, much higher than That was there in our academic life. And that pressure we learned from our institute, that how to handle the situation. I don't know anyone in Dhaka city, but I need to meet HR head. Even now also, it's very difficult for me to meet 4 HR heads in maybe 1 week. Even now also it's difficult. It's not easy. They are busy. They have their own assignments, own business. But finally we managed because we had to submit the paper. So now what we learned? We learned to handle the situation. If you, there are a lot of cases we get, okay, do this in half an hour. We don't have any clue. We don't have any clue what to do. But at the end, after 1 hour, we actually deliver. So that's the message. But we, as I was telling all of you, we had a common grievance that there is no much such in industry academic collaboration. So we are not much connected with the corporate world and how we will learn about the corporate challenges. So this is one of the very first initiative taken by ICE. And I would appreciate them to organize this event. And also, I would thank you all to manage time to attend this session. And I hope it will be a learning session for all of you.